4강전 그 첫 세트가 지금 막 끝이 났습니다. 이쯤에서
Okay, welcome back to the GSTL. We had some audio problems. It seems everything is fine. And we are going to have a quick coach interview with Coach Choi and, of course, with Choya.
Yep, there they are. To the left, you have Coach Choi again, and to the right, of course, Choya. Looking pretty suave here in his suit.
And Hana with a bun today. A little bit different.
어떻게든 지난대 4강 팀인 FX랑 만나게 됐네요.
그러게요. 어떠신가요?
Okay, so apparently they did not really expect to face FXO. So when they looked at the lineup, they thought that FXO was not able to go this far. So they prepared. They didn't really prepare for a different team, but that's what they expected, and of course that's what occupied their minds. They've been known for a while now that FXO is going to be there.
이영석 감독이 워낙 마음씨가 고와서 그런지 평소에도 워낙 친하게 지내는.
That's one of the things that Choya always gets these days, isn't it?
Yeah. 알겠습니다. 자, 고병재 이동현 선수가 코드 A 3라운드 진출 인터뷰에서 GSTL 결승에 대한 열망을 드러냈단 말이에요. 개인보다 팀을 위하는 분위기인 것 같아서 굉장히 보기 좋았는데요.
아 진짜 그때 코드 A 할 때 상대 선수를 무시한 건 아니지만 저 팀리그 때문에 개인 리그 연습을 포기하고 나온 상태였어요. 승강전으로 올라가자라고 하고 왔는데 확실히 GSTL을 준비하면서 연습량 자체가 많이 늘어나니까 경기력 자체가 많이 좋더라고요. 그래서 오늘 솔직히 선봉이 지긴 했지만 원래
Gumio couldn't practice very well for Code A because of his GSTL practice, and he was performing or practicing more for GSTL rather than his individual league. And since he was practicing a lot for GSTL, he improved in his own play and was able to win in Code A and go right into the up and down matches. So just some insight about Gumio there from Choya.
That's actually pretty cool to know. I mean, if you think about it, that he really practiced for GSL this much. We've talked about how good he played in Code A, but still, this is pretty cool.
저번 GSTL에서 한번 혼내줬던 것 같은데.
He said because of the ceremony that Keen just did, maybe he doesn't like me. So maybe I should take him out so that he'll like me more. And of course he refers to taking him out to dinner or something like this, but not taking him out like killing him or defeating him in this team. Like he wants to take him out to dinner.
Nah, I don't think that was about not liking someone. Just the way that he acted and how he just smiled. There's something else going on.
Keen's trying to be somebody he's not.
Why? He's a cool guy. I like him. When the MVP coach saw the map, he thought that FXO would put out a Zerg player. And that's the one reason why Keen wanted to play, and he's doing really well against Zerg just lately. We commented on this as well as we talked about the GSL qualifier in which he recently was able to succeed. So that's the reason why we have Keen as a starting player today.
지난번에 라스베가스 못 가서 참 아쉬웠는데 이번에 꼭 해운대 가고 싶습니다.
알겠습니다. 이영석 감독님.
지난 시즌에 인수가 정말 잘해줬는데 못 갔어요. 근데 어제 회의를 하는데
They're really disappointed because they couldn't go to Las Vegas last season, so this season they want to go to Busan. Of course, pretty common sentiment from all teams who weren't able to go last season. It's pretty awesome.
오늘은 이동현 선수가 0대4로 뒤지고 있는 한이 있더라도 자기가 반드시 해운대를 보내줄 수 있도록 노력하겠다고
Leonard told him today that
솔직히 내부적인
even though we're down,
앞서는 건 알고 있지만
he's confident. He's saying if we go down 0-4, he can reverse all kill. That's how confident he feels. So he's really putting a lot of faith and trust in Leonard.
Well, he proved him the last time. Against Shakti, he did so well. It was really nice to watch how he was able to get a bit of revenge for the Code S final where he lost.
네, 자신감에 차 있는 모습 굉장히 보기 좋은데요. 저도 오늘 경기 기대하도록 하겠습니다. 자, 여기까지 MVP와 FXOpen을 만나봤고요. 저는 잠시 후
determines whether or not they can go to Busan. They really want to go to those finals.
And they are really confident. That's what he actually said right now, that they could be the winner, that they could be the champion. If they go to Busan, he says he is sure that they are strong enough to take the title. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty confident statement coming from Choya, and I feel like this is some of where that victory magic comes from FXOpen. They don't have the best players in the world. They have some really good players, but they don't have the players with the best results right now. But they have a solid team. They practice hard. They prepare well, and they're not overconfident, but they're reasonably confident. They know what they've come here to do. Yeah, I feel like that's what it is.
The practice regime is also something that Choya mentioned in the past interviews that we had. So he always talks about how much his players actually prepare for this.
Pizza. Oh, look, it's Killer. I wonder if Killer's going to eat pizza.
Yeah, Killer is watching, and high.
There's no reason to be embarrassed about getting pizza.
Nah.
Oh, well, everybody's eating pizza. I don't know. I'm like, all right, we're good. I'm like, well,
not everybody.
He takes the first slice and he will eat it.
Well, even the players get pizza.
Is that so?
Yeah, we are the only ones left out, Wolf.
Well, I guess that's the case, man. But they already ate kimbap. I don't know why they're eating pizza.
Yeah, you're actually right.
That means that maybe they'll have some left over because they won't be hungry.
It was probably pizza sponsored by FXO, and they were like, give those 3 to the MVP bench.
Yeah,
who knows what's in this pizza?
Who knows what's in the pizza, man? And even if it's clean pizza, you don't feel good when you play StarCraft when you're too full. You feel a little bit uncomfortable, sick to your stomach. Yeah, a little bit sleepy. You're not focused, all right? You're
thinking about strategy. It's a trick.
Exactly, man. When you're thinking about making your reactor for your factory, you're sitting in the booth going, wait a minute, did I eat too much today? I'm going to have to go exercise tonight, and for sure, I'm not eating any snacks when I get home. You're thinking about that, man, it affects your play.
Well, Keen didn't get any pizza, and I bet Lucky didn't have any so far yet either. So here they are, our 2 players, Keen and Lucky, another Terran versus Zerg coming up this time on Daybreak.
Yep, Daybreak, the map of choice for Lucky. A lot of FXOpen players, Zerg players especially, really do like this map against Terran. Leenock has actively said he thinks it's a good map for Zerg. And I'm sure Lucky shares that sentiment as they are teammates. They practice together a lot, talk about strategies a lot. See what Keen has up his sleeve, though. He looked very solid, very patient and safe last game. I think we'll see a very similar style from him, especially since he's up 1-0 here.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 about to start. Keen against Lucky here at the GSTL, casted by Colin Wolf. And here we go to the top right of the map. We have the player starting for MVP. He was able to take down 1 of the FXO players already. He was successful against Whale. Here's the commander.
MVP, Kid!
Discarding his jacket. It's almost as if he's like a Jedi. He takes off his overcloak and then he's just wearing the white shirt underneath. He's ready for action, man.
Yeah, he certainly is. And he is up against the opponent, starting to the bottom left in the blue. We have the Zerg player for FXO, one of their strong Zerg lineup.
FXO, Lucky!
Lucky was not all that lucky when he played in the last TSL qualifier. He actually lost to Pold with 2-0, so against the Terran player, which is already a little bit of an indicator.
Had some trouble with his mouse bungee.
Everything is apparently fine. If you look at the gaming history of Lucky against Terran, the last few games that he played, it was so-so. He lost against Pold, he lost against Bomber, was successful against Hard and Hack though. Yeah, it's like he has like a 50% record, just roughly. I think that he probably prepared for this specific map. FXO, of course, already knew that Keen is up against Whale, and I'm pretty sure that they had a lot of confidence in Whale, but I am 100% sure that they also prepared another player that would be able to take down Keen in case that the young Zerg player they had as a starter would not be able to succeed.
Every single time you have a starting player that you know about, that you have the most preparation options available, and this will always occur any team that prepares for Team League, and I you know, as a former member of FXOpen, in fact, actually, you know, I would work with them on player picks, and it'd always be the first player you send out, you know, you find out who your opponent is, you always immediately find out, okay, guys, who are we going to send out if he loses? That's like the first question, because you have to know that, because that sets up the rest of your play, because the Team League, once the first player loses, that you go down one of 2 paths, so you have to make that choice right away. See a quick command center here, coming down for Keen, and Lucky has checked like crazy for proxies. He has scouted the entire map, being very safe here.
The point that you just made is, by the way, a very interesting one, because you have to think about it like this. The first player in a game is always the one who has the toughest time. First of all, because he has the one match that everyone can prepare for. And second of all, as you just pointed out, the opposing team will probably prepare one player just in case their own starter loses. So it's really hard to be the opening player, which is also why a lot of teams will send out, I don't really want to call it a pawn, but just a weak-up player where they say, okay, we have confidence, he can win, he's strong enough, but if he loses, that's fine.
Exactly. It's one of the most important decisions you have to make. I'm curious to see what the plan for Lucky is going to be. If he's going to show something really stylistic here.
Well, Lucky currently is starting with the gas, so he's not relying on a very queen-heavy build as did his teammate before. We will probably see a lot, well, at least 4 queens nonetheless, but with the speed that he currently already has up, he will be safe against a lot of things. These Hellion run buys will be a little bit harder for MVP Keen to accomplish, so I guess that at least a few Zerglings will roam the map and trying to block the ramp if things are getting grim. And here's already queen number 3. Will spread his creep here, and yeah, the question still remains, what exactly is Lucky's idea here? We have seen a lot of mid-game busts with Banelings. We've seen also Lucky play with some Roach Hellion play. The Roach Hellion play would actually be really exciting. That's the strategy that I would like to see out of Lucky, but yeah, I think Roach Baneling might be a little bit more likely.
Yeah, as soon as you see Roaches just purely for Hellion defense, so use a few of them. We're seeing the Commander Keen squad go out, 3 Marines and SCVs sneak around the entire map undetected, check for a third. He's even going to bunker here. And actually, he may just put these Marines inside of the bunker.
It certainly looks like it.
And force some lings. And look at this timing. He sends a drone over, it's shut down immediately. You guys didn't see it, but he sent the drone over to make that third base right when the bunker was started.
Before, and this is actually, especially on a map like this where it's hard to take a 4th base, it's actually ingenious. This is only committing a few minerals, and you will make sure that even if your opponent then sends out a few Zerglings, you will trade very cost efficient.
Yeah, and you will force the lings. In fact, he's forced 16 Zerglings here, and he needs about that much to take out a bunker with 3 Marines in it with an SCP to repair. You need a lot for that.
This is exactly what's going to happen here. I really like this decision by Keen. And Keen is now going straight for Blue Flame Hellions while he also adds a 3rd orbital.
This is becoming a more popular build, and look at this. See, like you said, he's going to get this very cost efficiently, taking out a lot of Zerglings. And he delayed the commands, or rather the hatchery so much.
Yeah, they traded very even here. Resources lost 300 against 300. And the thing is, what you pointed out, he lost a lot of lava in order to accomplish it, and he had to build all these Zerglings early on that he does not really want to build. And we had just had a quick glimpse at what exactly Keen is setting up here. The bunker on the low ground, at the same time the wall off on the high ground at the ramp. This is really smart, and this is exactly what he needs in order to deal with Zergling run buys. So Lucky can't really do anything with these lings right now.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to point something out. We talked about Blue Flame, which is actually becoming somewhat of a staple in this matchup. Sometimes people are going for Blue Flame with just Marine Blue Flame Hellions, but he actually showed that to the Overlord, that research, to make it seem that that was what he was doing. But then he immediately, as he killed the Overlord, switched and is going for Cloak as a normal 3rd base follow-up here. So he's trying as best as he can to kind of throw the Zerg player off. And this may make him skimp, but actually, he's not skimping. He's making 3 Spore Crawlers because he's lucky. He's one of the best base defenders in the entire world, and he is actually going to be completely prepared regardless of what he's seeing.
And this is so true. The Hellions, yeah, well, we have the Zerglings just rushing in and trying to sneak in here, but he knows exactly that it's not going to help him in any way. And at the same time, as you pointed out, those Spore Crawlers, they will help him out quite a bit, and he has them everywhere. So the detection is there. He has the Queen count, of course, too. With 4 Queens, he will be able to defend here. And there comes the Banshee, going in immediately, trying to do some damage, but realizing that the defenses of Lucky are already set, and he will still be able to pick off a few drones, but not nearly as many as he was able to pick up against his opponent.
You're exactly right. I mean, since he has all of these Spore Crawlers set up, it's going to be very difficult for him to actually find an area of weakness. The lair isn't done, but it's in a much better timing than it was last game, so he's not going to be able to use his Banshees as well as he would have liked to. Looks like he's actually just kind of trying to use this to scout and look for an opening. And he will actually try to pick off some drones, gets one more, makes it worth it here, sees the Evo chambers. And he's going to see the lair is not done as well, and that's really important for him to know.
Yeah, he has all the scouting information, of course, and he's still able to kill a few drones. This is so exciting to see because Keen always finds an opening. We've seen it in the last game and we see it now again. He's just taken out so many units and he should not be able to do this, especially with the early defense that Lucky had. But yeah, he's pulling it off again, and now finally the Overseer, as the second Banshee is about to enter the main base.
Yeah, and it's just in time. Here he goes, chasing them out.
Wow, so close here.
That was very close. you know, Keen, like you said, he finds the openings, he uses them. He saw the Spore Crawler was positioned in a way, looking at that Spore in his main position for a Banshee flying from the outside, but he flew at a different angle. Keen just knows exactly how to fly his Banshees, man. He takes care of them. Some players do not. Keen definitely does.
Yeah, the Banshees are definitely in the clock here, though. As the Spire is now on its way, we will see Mutalisks in this game, and then the Banshees will become useless. Kind of positioning now on the Xel'Naga Watchtower, very important here in order to deny the Zerg some scouting. The Harvester count at this point 77 to 60, so a decent economy for Lucky. Keen is playing this really well, though. He's already on 3 bases, and look at this defense once more. The siege tank's already sieged up in position, and now he's walling off with another bunker and also the supply depot right next to it. Both players a little bit, I want to say, cautious, not too overzealous here with their attacks, but playing a very strategic and a very solid game.
Yeah, by the way, a huge run by for a Zerg player will actually clean up the siege tank and several of the Marines. He could go for SCVs here. The bunker was not done. He's actually pulling the SCVs prematurely here. Now he splits his Zerglings. I love this into 2 groups. He'll get the siege tank and a bunch of SCVs.
What a timing here for Lucky. Well, we were just about to mention how Keen was saving his position, how he actually saves everything. But then Lucky sits the timing where there's nothing that he can do because the bunker is not ready and neither is the supply depot in the main base. The defense for Lucky tries to force back all of the Marines, and he does a great job here. Keen is not even picking them up, might lose a Spore Crawler. No, just able to survive with a few hit points.
Yeah, what a close call there for the defense of Lucky, but he had it. He was ready. 8 mutas on the way, which will shut down the drops completely. And that 3rd base run by did so much damage.
Oh yeah, it did. 19 Harvesters killed by Lucky, 10 by Keen. And now the 4th base already for Lucky, while the Zerg players also going for the first few Mutalisks, and they will do some damage for sure. And of course they will also finally force back this Banshee, which is so important to Lucky. He took a supply lead, he's in a good economical position, and look at the production tab. Exactly what we talked about earlier. Spore Crawlers, Spine Crawlers. He wants to be safe here.
Yeah, he is great at defending his base. He's one of the best Zerg players at that in the entire pro gaming scene. And as you mentioned, this Banshee will finally be cleaned up. He's just going to follow it with these until the cloak runs out. It's almost out of energy. And, you know, this is delaying actually the mutas from getting into his main base. So now he can get the turrets up in time because he didn't have any turrets up when the mutas first came out. And in fact, right now he has just started a turret at his 3rd, none at his natural, and only 1 in his main base. And to be honest, that's not going to be enough with 14 mutas coming in.
No.
He's going to be in a bit of trouble depending on how much Lucky decides to commit to these.
If Lucky finishes the +1 attack upgrade and is willing to commit and take down one of those turrets, he will be able to do some damage.
Look at Kane's position here, though.
Whoa, the Zerglings force him back. There's the stim, and here come the Mutalisks. But in the choke point, that's the one area that he does not want to engage in. The +2/+2 upgrades are not done just yet. And still the Zerg play here with his supply lead, playing this very well. Wow. And of course, Keen at some point has to set up another base.
I'm so amazed that Keen knew exactly where the mutas would be. Now he's got Marines in his main. He may catch a few more of these. He's got them coming from the back, takes out several mutas.
Oh, well done by Keen here. Hits the stim and is able to force not only the mutas back, but take down a few of them in the process.
Keen could see the future, man. I'm starting to believe that.
Zergling count. This is crazy. The guy is 135, is now morphing a ton of Banelings. And this attack is going to hit so hard. This is the strategy that Lucky used the last time in the GSTL. He was sticking to his Zerglings, Banelings, and Mutalisks. This is exactly what he wants to play. I talked with him afterwards about it. He does not plan for a transition. This is like something that he might do later on, but it's not in the plan. It's something that he plays a little bit July style. He wants to kill him. He wants to stick to this composition and make it work.
He certainly wants to, and he's getting ready. Right now, Keen has a siege tank count of 6, making 2 at a time at his double factories. His 2-2 is not done, but Lucky's is going to be done at this timing. This is something that Keen is not going to want to deal with. He's got his tanks well spread here, and he's not overextending. He's got a glimpse of the Banelings, but his tanks are in position to defend the center, not his 3rd base. He only has 1 tank there.
There's the scan. He knows what's coming. He knows what's up, and here come the Banelings, the Zerglings, trying to stream in, leading the charge. The Mutalisks take down the first missile turret, and now immediately heading straight for the siege tanks. And Keen is able to pull everything back here, at the same time walking into the main base of, not the main base, but the area of the Zerg, trying to do some damage. He's going for the counter-attacker, but look at the SCV count.
The SCV count is falling, and I have to say, Keller, that scan you mentioned, the second he saw it, he sent his units to attack. He did not hesitate, he did not go back. He said, all right, there's no way I get back in time. I have to kill him. I'm going for the counterattack.
Oh, is he able to make the base trade work here, though? The siege tanks are sieged up, the Marines in position, hitting the stim hard, and of course 1-1 upgrades for him. Banelings in the main base. They are currently in the process of morphing, and here comes Keen. Maybe a little bit too soon for Lucky to make this work.
Yeah.
The Banelings rolling in, Keen paying attention, moving them back, but a lot of them already died.
The problem, though, is that he did not kill all of Keen's forces, so Keen actually has forces at his home to defend, and he is doing so much better at this attack than Lucky was able to do with his, and his army still stands strong here. He's got to protect the siege tanks from these mutas, though. I feel like Lucky is hesitating a little bit too much. He could dart in and try to kill some of these siege tanks.
And now the base is gone. He just lost his natural. He has 3 mining bases at this point.
Going.
Here come the Zerglings, the Banelings from the top, and of course immediately the Miracle is focused down one tank after another, heading for those medivacs as well. The army supply currently dead even, 48 for both of them.
But Keen significantly down supply.
Yes.
He needs to make this attack at the north work. I think he will.
Look at his SCV count. He's down to 24. Of course he has some mules, but still this is bad news for the Terran player.
Yeah, man. Only Keen can make a decision like this to actually go for the race after the scan, and he is trying to make it work still. I mean, he hasn't killed his opponent, but he's crippling the economy. He takes out this hatchery at the top left. He's going to get the drones as well. He cannot afford to lose these Marines, though. He needs to get out of here very soon, because if Lucky sets up a trap and catches all these Marines and kills them with Banelings, he is going to be in a crazy bad position with no economy and no army.
Keen saw the Mutalis. He knows that as soon as he lifts up those Marines, they might be in trouble. He's trying to walk back with them. And here comes the army of Lucky, trying to get in here. The split for Keen is good, but is it good enough? The Mutalis closing the distance, and there's just way too much that bites the dust here. The Terran player certainly on the ropes. Wow, Lucky looking so strong.
He does. He's doubling the supply of Keen. Keep in mind that that's 30 of that is in workers, so as far as army supply goes, he's pretty small. And the bank, the bank for Lucky at 2,500 mils, 2,200 gas. As soon as he makes an infestation pit, man, things are going to get out of hand.
And even if he doesn't, with all the bases that he's currently building, 3 additional hatches, he will have the lava, and he also will have the economy in order to pull this off. If he invests, even if he invests into Mutalisks here, 22 Marines, just think about it. If he would have like 20 additional Mutalisks, that would be way too much for Keen to handle.
He basically has the choice to do anything.
And Keen, right now, he just doesn't have the resources to go for Thors, and that's the one thing that he would need against Mutalisks.
Well, Keen is holding on for dear life. He does have that third command center alive still. He's moving it down to his third base now. Mineral patches on this third base reading at about 800 to 1,000 minerals left, and this is something that, you know, he can mine from. If he holds it, then he can start to remax. But if Lucky waits too long, that's going to be the chance that he needs. He needs some sort of miracle, really, because if Lucky attacks him at any moment here with the advantage that he has in army and economy, he can just continue to send wave after wave until Keen dies. But if Keen is allowed to remax or get close, get up to 150, 160 supply, he may have a fighting chance here.
Right now we have Lucky setting up all these bases. Another one to the top left, one in the middle. He will be on 5 bases very soon. Keen is only producing Marines and a few tanks here. He's not going for any additional SCVs. He's relying on his mule count at this point, and he kind of has to. The army supply, therefore, still in favor of Lucky. MVP Keen trying to catch up, but it's going to be so hard. He's down 40 army supply, and Lucky is getting stronger every second here. He's lacking the transition, but just the sheer numbers that the Zerg player is putting onto the map should be too much to handle for Keen. Do you think he can? Do you think he can come back into this?
I think he can, but he really needs time. He needs time so much, and he doesn't have 3-3 on the way. He can't afford it right now. He's got his mining back up at his third base, and I really feel like Lucky is being too passive here. He's got a good Mutalisk count. Now he's moving out with it, and this harassment is probably going to be too much for Keen. His double drop at the north may kill this base, but only if he micros it perfectly and if he drops before.
Most of his Marines are out of position, and here come the Mutalisks. They go in, even if he takes down the fourth, but no, there are too many Banelings. I don't think he can pull it off.
He splits himself decently here, but even so, there's enough, and reinforcements come. He will clean up this drop, and Keen is running out of steam.
The supply is completely getting out of hand here for Lucky. He spreads his creep. He even spreads creep at this point. Half the map is already covered in it. And now the Medivacs just died. He has 3 left, 4 tanks, 35 Marines. That's all she wrote. All he has, still doubling his opponent's supply. And with 5 mining bases, Lucky is looking so strong now.
Keen tried to send a drop to the south. He saw that there were 4 Banelings, about 12 Zerglings, 2 Spines, 2 Spores, and he was like, well, I guess this just isn't going to work. I'm going to try to clean up creep with this drop instead. But I mean, Keen is trying to find any opening. Lucky's not giving him a single one.
And finally, Keen has started his AV production again, but what can he do against this force? Of course, the Medivac dies, the Marines as well. The Terran player on 3 bases, and Lucky is on the move. Is this Keen's last stand? It certainly looks like it.
He's on siege.
He's not even sieged up, exactly. And now here he moves in, and the Banelings crush the Marines. The tanks are gone. Lucky is moving in, and Keen types GG and leaves the game. Lucky ties things up. A great game here.
Great game indeed. What an awesome first 2 games we have had. Keen actually hanging on by a thread in that game. Lucky giving him some time to build up and then crushed him.
And he returns the favor. And this out of Lucky. The guy is so shy.
I guarantee you Choya made him do it, man.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he did not look at them. He just walked over, put it down and walked back. It was like, I want to go home. Oh, Lucky is so awesome, but if you talk to the guy, he would never... I don't know, I've never seen him do anything like this.
No, I've never seen anything like that of the guy.
But this is also just the reaction. They're like, what? You're actually pulling this on us?
I felt like the defense of Keen was decent in aspects of the game, and he was building back up. And I felt like Lucky could have killed him before, but he was being a very...
a little bit timid.
Yeah, a little bit timid. He was trying to be, I guess, a little bit safe. He defended the drops really well, as he's known for. But honestly, he was being a little bit courteous to Keen almost with how long he waited. Keen was trying to inch his way back into there, but the next engagements just went poorly. He wasn't able to kill enough with his drops, and he just didn't have the army size he needed.
The key in this game was definitely the situation where we had kind of the run by the armies passing each other, and of course Keen immediately realized when he scanned, I will never be able to get into position to siege up my tanks and save the third. I have to make something work. What do? Do I try to sec the third and save my natural, or do I go for the attack? He went for the attack. Lucky got the better of him in this situation and then carried the advantage. And here's the MVP bench.
Finale! I really like this guy, man. I'm really looking forward to this match. I wasn't sure if he was going to come out today, but I knew it wasn't going to be a Terran, not against Lucky. And Protoss it is.
Yeah, Protoss it is indeed. We have a Zerg versus Protoss. Lucky just defeated a Terran player, and now he is up against a Protoss. And this is actually, statistically speaking, Lucky's best matchup by far. He has a 62% win ratio, so I don't know. We'll see how successful this is going to be.
He has not played against any Protosses very recently, though. He took out Axlab and Anori in some recent matches, but Anori is not a player who's been doing very well recently, and Axlab is a foreigner. But I mean, I'm not going to take away credit from Axlab, but like basically those are the only 2 players he's played in recent times.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the players that he faced in just the last few weeks were either Zerg or Terran. So we'll see if he is still this good in the matchup, if he can take down Finale. The series is tight right now, so this match very important once again. So far, both teams on eye level, and we will find out who is taking a lead here on Cloud Kingdom.
Cloud Kingdom, the map of choice, an interesting one, I would say. But you know, a lot of people would say that a Protoss would pick Entombed Valley against a Zerg, but they may have that plan for Lenon. And this is a choice that, you know, a lot of people are going to be wondering about, thinking about. Because when you do present a player, sometimes you're like, all right, I want to use this map as best as I can. Or I want to use my choice as best I can, and that comes with the player and the map and the matchup. But to use Finale here means he may have something specific planned, but I think it really does indicate that they want to kill Leonok potentially with a Protoss later on.
Yeah, Leonok is probably going to be the last player once again. That's the one position that he really likes to play. The last hope for his team, and all the others are basically just trying to support him here with winning against as many opponents as possible. Choya even stated that Leonok is up for the reverse all kill. He won't have to, but still.
We will see if he even needs to come out. Lucky looking pretty strong here so far at the GSTL.